Hello everybody, this is Conquering History Games, and welcome back to Part 9 of my Union of Socialist American States campaign, aka Foster's America. So something that I wanted to talk about really quickly here at the start of the video, because I know I talked about Foster's quote, where he talked about breeding a race of, I guess in this world it would be syndicalists, or totalists perhaps, but I wanted to dispel any notions that Foster was a racist. You know, maybe he... I've seen some things that maybe he was a little bit when he was younger, but he got over it pretty quickly, and he certainly was far less racist than the people of his day. I don't think that it's a contradiction to have him do, with Foster in charge, do the emancipation for all. I don't think that in the slightest. He is, you have to remember, even though he is, as we're beginning to see, he's showing more and more authoritarian tendencies. Definitely not racist. In fact, he was arrested. One of the times he was arrested was in the 20s in, where is it? Over here in Delaware, which is, by the way, I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but I guess this is, Paradox trying to say, this is what Delaware should be. So you just get kind of the river line for Maryland, and it would just be this. I don't know if that makes the border gore better or worse. There's also this part up here, but anyway, yeah, he was arrested in Delaware once because while he was campaigning, he had a campaign slogan, abolish lynching, and they accused him of being inflammatory. I guess, trying to start a race war or whatever, for saying that lynching should be abolished. And that was and again, that's up here in Delaware. This is not like in, Alabama or something. So, that good old Jim Crow's 1930s racism definitely extended outside of the former Confederate United States. Anyway, we'll talk more. I'm going to talk more about Foster and factionalism in a little bit, but let's see how things are going here in Europe. It seems to be going decently enough. We're advanced, especially right here. Wait a minute. Hold on a sec. Oh, shoot. Think I just lost my opportunity there, but I'm seeing some gaps here into Austria, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, that we could perhaps be taking advantage of. The German Empire still has several factories, but I think we're just doing some open field running now. So many green bubbles. I think Germany's going to capitulate pretty quick. Oh, there was a coup in Siam. The People's Party, huh? Well, anyway, and once Germany falls, they're gonna come down here to Africa, which I actually don't think we have anybody who's in position to attack them. The Third International is pretty confined to us in Europe right now, but we're eventually going to be going down south, and we're mobilizing pretty quickly, all things considered. Actually, no, we've stopped mobilizing, so I'm going to have to raise the conscription law again. Although the recruitable population factor is also being raised. I guess we'll join the Science Society real quick. Okay, we've got fading longest resistance and fading federal resistance, and this is actually about to disappear entirely. So we're just waiting for the other pop-up to happen, so we can get rid of the longest. And once that's done, we're still going to have social revolution to deal with, but I think it's also just because my army's so big. I've got 1 million men in the field. That's what's chewing up a lot of the manpower. It's still, how many casualties have I taken? 39,000. I feel like I don't have as much population as I should. Not nearly. That's probably just because I'm on such a low conscription. I think once I go to extensive, we could probably sit on extensive for the duration of the game unless we get into another huge war. Okay, that'll do. Now, meanwhile, who have we got in the queue? We have some revolutionary armor coming in. Oh, am I still then leasing to France? I probably could stop doing that now. Or, it's fine. They're our allies. We'll keep giving them guns. If there's one thing we have, it's infantry equipment. Belarusia has capitulated. The Tsar is heading west. Ow. The army restructure. Didn't we already have this? A proposal has come out to President William Z. Foster's desk about restructuring the army. The plan would make sure that the army is loyal to the revolution. However, this is likely to anger many within the army, which shall be done. Wait a second, I remember this. This is, I think they've hotfixed this, but I think this event is bugged. I'm going to make a save file here. I think this event's bugged. But, alright, so we can basically leave the army as it is, and it'll actually increase the popularity of the totalists, or we could commence the restructuring. So, like, it feels to me that if we... I don't know, like shouldn't commencing the restructuring increase the popularity of the totalists? Like, either way, I'm going to take something bad. So it says leave the army as it is, but maybe it could be something like commence the restructuring, and I don't know, there should be something different. Or maybe it's just one of those events that, you know, you're going to take a hit either way. Like, maybe it should just be that you take the stability and war support hit if you commence the restructuring. But if you leave the army as it is, you become more popular. Anyway, for role-playing purposes, even though taking this would give me additional 5% popularity by leaving the army as it is, and so that would get me into a new bracket of political power gain, we are going to commence the restructuring in order to make sure that that army is loyal to the revolution. But you see, I think it might also have to do with a certain event firing, but I'm not sure. Alright, Leipzig always falls so easily. Dresden, not so much. Okay, but still, plenty of green. They're down to under 1 million men. Russia's only getting stronger. And the peace deal, I think we'll probably give Russia just anything it's got soldiers in right now. So the duchies, Lithuania, Ukraine. We'll probably give it Poland. I think that's fair. And then, like, the Third International will puppet Germany and Belgium. Yeah, I think that'll be a fair deal. A deal that's fair and square. Oh my gosh, how long have I had these naval dockyards open? Oh, it's gonna chew up manpower though to build this stuff. We're just gonna build a bunch of cheap submarines. Like a strong, I mean, me having a strong navy is gonna be very important once I start heading south, but I'm not terribly concerned about it right now. Like, I barely have the recruitable population to sustain my army, you know. Okay, 16 more days to go, and we're done redistributing the wealth. It's gonna give us some more population once more. But I think you know, we don't have a huge amount of manpower, but I think we have to start Foster's economic policy. It's overdue. He's been reelected by the people. It's a mandate. We got to do it. William Z. Foster has managed to... Oh, but I need that... Oh, there's just so much I have to do. I got to get that research slot. I got to wait. Okay, it's only 100 days. 100 more days, and we'll start the economic policy. Okay, landlords and real estate tycoons have been a plague upon this nation. Let us lift the poor and starving from their slums now that the rich and mighty have been driven from their seats of power. And just going to start modifying the social revolution, which I think is actually going to take it in going from giving me negative effects to positive ones as the social revolution continues. All right, this is going very well. I've only lost 54,000 men in Europe so far. Lots of green bubbles. That's what I want to see. Cool, we got to Magdeburg. Last America standing, it is beginning to dawn upon our citizens that the American Civil War is actually over. The scars from the fighting will last for a long time, but it seems as if the feeling has already to sink in that any chance to change America's destiny further has passed. We are now and forevermore the Union of Socialist American States, and the world should know that it is so. God bless America. We get 5 stability. Nice. So, I'll take it anywhere I can take it, because I'm going to need a ton of stability before the end of this game. Let's see here. So, the war in Europe's going fine. What do I have insufficient resources? Why do I have insufficient chromium? Am I really building that many heavy tanks? Let's come over here. Apparently, well, that's fine, because you know, At least I get enough from down here that at least I don't have to trade for as much as I usually would. I might need to... well, let's trade with the commune. But what I might need to do is... What am I on? Export focus. I might switch us to limited export at some point. But that costs political power, so probably won't be for a while. I'm fine with trading the factories. I've sure got enough of them, you know. Getting closer to Vienna. And a lot of people want non-aggression pacts with me. Sorry, but I don't make deals with reactionaries. Longists are still bombing, though. Oh, by the way, I was reading this in between episodes, and it talks about the Southern Comrades' economies. So I don't think I'm actually supposed to take this decision. So let me just deselect it. I don't think I'm supposed to take this until I've... Well, I suppose I own Cuba, but it'll probably be something after I've taken more of these allies. Looks like Mexico and Central America are at war with one another. Interesting. Interesting. You know how you stop a war between these two, right? I'm just going to go down and conquer them both. In fact, what in terms of production... Let's see, I'm working on the... Oh, the Ottomans joined. What? Wow. Okay, so... that's interesting. We got a very, very big Reichspakt now. But let me, let's see here. Land redistribution clashes with local warlords. What is this, China? From the mansions of the Rockefeller, the Morgans, the Carnegies, and the Vanderbilts to the sharecroppers who run company stores. The land of the United States still belongs to the capitalists, the worst example being Murphy Ranch out in California, which was a hive of silver shirt activity during the war and took months to starve out by our forces. You may remember some events from this. I think it was in this, it might have been in this campaign, but certainly in Pele's campaign. It also talked about Murphy Ranch. It has been decided by Congress to exercise expropriation on these estates. Many of the southern and western states have been given over to the local communes and established as a public housing for the people. As expected, civilian armed resistance has cost us some lives, but few would have expected our own militias to be ineffective at expropriation. One particularly tough nut to crack was in Montana, where the initial militia sent to turn... Wait, what? Where the initial militia sent in turned traitor and held onto a large estate for its warlord owner for 8 months before our Red Guard were forced to intervene. The program seems to be working, however, so there's no reason to reconsider. Who would have thought warlords? And yeah, we lose some manpower, get a little political power, and my stability. Ah, the old Montana militia. Classic Americana. Yeah, it's one of my favorite jokes in The Simpsons that I only got when I was older is, I don't remember why, but Homer didn't have cash on him, so he asks his son Bart, hey, can I get like $5 from you? And then later on, Bart's going, hey, are you gonna give me the $5 back? He goes, yeah, here you go, boy. And he gives him some paper. And then he goes, what? This isn't $1. This is Montana militia money. It's not worth anything. And then Homer just goes, not yet it isn't, boy. What is that about? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We got some invasions happening by the reactionaries under Henri VI. France is still making a go of it, even though they've lost their faction. How about Sardinia? Are they still trying to make it happen? Yeah. Well, yeah, we never we technically never stopped fighting them. That's right. So the Papal States, Sardinia, and France, we have these former Entente nations. Although we're not at war with the Dominion of India, because Edward didn't want none. Yeah, the Commune's going to take care of them, though. All right, we're on the outskirts of Berlin. It's just a matter of time. Now we're working on heavy tank 3s already. We're about to be able to get some better engineers, but I think I would rather focus on... I don't know, what do I want to focus on? Maybe, actually, I think I want the Naval Transports. Oh yeah, I forgot in Kaiserreich they moved it over here. As it should be. It should be over there, the landing craft. Okay. How far away are they from capitulating? There it is, the fall of Berlin to forces of the Helvetic Commune. Good work, Switzerland. Good work. Oh geez, they're on scraping the barrel though, and almost out of manpower. But they're doing all citizens serve. All right, that's gonna give them another 5% recruitable population, so it should barely keep them going. Finally, we could do the revolutionary education. Academia has been the nurturing mother of many revolutionaries, but the education system itself is still inherently reactionary. In all of America's history, it was built to produce more obedient workers, more crooked capitalists, and heartless politicians. That ends now. This is actually going to lower my production efficiency cap. That's interesting. I guess the idea is, what would that be? I guess because well, let's look at the effects. It's going to increase our stability, increase our recruitable population factor, increase our monthly population. But I guess the idea is because the education system is being... Oh, cool, I can finally switch to war economy. I guess the concept is that because the system is being changed so it doesn't produce capitalists, it's lowering the effectiveness of factories and businesses? Maybe that's the concept. Well, in any case, if we did come over here to our production, right now our production caps at 82%, and that's with the minus 15%. We're dealing with the economic devastation from the war. Upton Sinclair, who works for us, is helping out a bit. That's interesting. Yeah, we have radical socialists. I think it's just the one, actually, and one syndicalist in our ministry. Foster don't care too much as long as he's in charge. Right, lots of green, lots of green. I'm loving this. Germany has to be close to capitulating, though. That's what I was supposed to be checking, right? Oh, there goes Lithuania. Goodness, 5 million casualties they've taken. They're 75% of the way there. Yeah, you pretty much end up having to go like all the way to Danzig before Germany capitulates. Whoa, what happened? What happened? Is Lithuania getting released? Oh no, don't crash on me. Okay, just give it a minute, everybody. There we go. There we go. Alright, peace conference is over. Well, it's not over, but okay, Germany capitulated kind of early. But a ton of peace deals have been signed now. Goodness. Alright. So the German government went down into exile. Conquest of Germany. Today the unthinkable has occurred. German air forces fighting in Europe have finally collapsed under the weight of the invading armies. The Reich couldn't continue the struggle, and so it appears the Kaiser, his cabinet, and a considerable number of state officials and key generals have embarked by sea to the African colonies still in the hands of the Germans. The Kaiser is seemingly committed to continue the struggle for his imperial possessions overseas, but for now the war in Europe is over, and the worldwide German Empire has been thrown into utter disarray. Okay, so it looks like France just swallowed up Germany, and you know what, that's fine. Let's just we're going to give these areas over to Russia. Yeah, pretty much everything here in the east. So okay. Oh no! Wow, that's okay. We're gonna have to pass a lot more, I guess. Gosh. Oh, I hate when I end up having to do this. Start double clicking like mad. Oh, it's gonna take 2,600 points just to take Finland. Ridiculous. At least Ukraine and the rest will be cheap. Was Finland even part of the war with Germany, or I don't know. Like, I'm not saying we're never going to go to war with Russia. We very well might have to, but now that the Kaiser has been defeated and we know that our allies are in no immediate danger of dying, I think that we could move on and continue to focus on the Western Hemisphere in order to form this new union. Wow. Oh, whoops. I was about to take those all for myself anyway. So I'm going to need another 2,400 for Belarus. And then, okay, so 2,400 plus 2,400. About 5,000 or so will be needed for Belarus and Finland. Then I think Poland, Lithuania, and Ukraine are going to be kind of cheap. That was about 3,000. So we're probably going to need to get to about I don't know, freaking 8,000-ish or so. Anyway, as I was saying though, like let's kind of zoom back and look at the world map here. So of course my country's name is the Union of Socialist American States. So that involves everybody in the entire Americas. So what I think we're going to do now is we're going to intervene probably in this war like with Mexico. Mexico's being an aggressor, I think. And yeah, they're technically totalists, but they're not my completely specific brand of totalism. And you know, it's all about the specificity whenever you're playing a country on the left. It's like Foster, you know. It kind of works with Foster. Like I've been studying Foster the more as I play this campaign. All right, that should be enough. As I play this campaign, and one of the things I really notice is that he's willing to ally with anything and anyone, any concept, if it ultimately would have led to him having power. Don't get me wrong. He certainly seems like the kind of dude who believed in his convictions. Oh my gosh, did I do that all wrong? Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. It's because I was calculating the points based on what it would take for me to absorb them. Wow. All right, well then, anyway, let's come over. Let's take these guys and bring them down here to the border with Austria and to capitulate them. Russia is not involved in this one, and it looks like Russia is just releasing people, or at least Poland. Anyway, so what I'm saying about factionalism. See, as I've been studying Foster, like there were times in his career, especially in the 20s, when there was a lot of factionalism going on in the American Communist movement, the leftist movement, where, for example, he was trying to take control of the Communist Party back from a faction led by John Pepper, who was this Hungarian. Whoops. He was this Hungarian Bolshevik who was more ambitious than anything. He definitely, from what I've researched, this guy John Pepper, which incidentally was the third name he ever had. He kept changing his name to fit whatever culture he was in. But he kind of seems like one of those sort of dudes that he would have believed in anything politically if he thought that it was going to lead to him ultimately achieving power for himself personally. Oh, that's right. We still have to deal with Belgium. And the Kingdom of France is starting to get a pretty big foothold here. Things are not going as easily for the Third Internationals as it looks, actually. We're still in a little bit of a tricky area here. So Foster, though, was trying to beat this guy, John Pepper, and then Rochberg, I think, where Rochberg was the head of the Communist Party of the United States at the time. And they have this big conference where basically they're trying to get everybody, and they even invite somebody from the Soviet Union to oversee the conference as like a neutral head of a commission. And oh my gosh, oh geez, they're right outside Paris. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a hot second here. Here's what we got to do. We need to focus on one of these. We're gonna focus on pushing out. What's the highest priority? I'll talk about Foster in a second. Let me see here. Okay, these guys got about 355 divisions. These ones have 321. All right. I don't think it's going to help too much to capitulate Austria because there's still a continuous border with. Actually, no. The king is Greece at war. Okay, wait, maybe it is worth it then. Like, but we've got really four fronts we have to worry about. There's this one up here in North Germany. There's like the Benelux region here, which is just about to hit Paris. And then over here is Normandy down here into Aquitaine. Not Normandy, Brittany, a little bit of Western Normandy, and down here into Aquitaine, where the Kingdom of France is advancing. So we need to figure out what's the priority here. And I think it's going to be... I think we got to at least clear out this area. So we do have, under Carter, some motorized divisions that are ready to go. So let's try to get them up here quickly so that they could fill in these gaps in the line, because it looks like, oh, I could be wrong, but I was about to say that it looks like they didn't they don't really have anybody advancing here. They've pulled them up north, but it could just be that I don't see them. It looks like it's that I just couldn't see them. Oh man, this is rough. We've got to try to get to Bordeaux here and maybe achieve a cutoff. Okay. Shoot. Yeah, but anyway, at that conference, Foster ended up, him and his faction over the course of over a week, they seemed to be able to get a majority of the vote in determining future Communist Party of America policies. But then on the 8th day of the conference, the Soviet Union just telegrams or something over and has their representatives, who's the head of the commission that's helping to run the conference, saying, "Oh, we've decided that the party with Rochberg is going to have a mandatory 40% representation in the Central Committee, regardless of popularity," because they felt that they were more in line with them. And so then Foster's going, "Okay, so I have to be kissing the Comintern's ass if I want to have power in the Communist Party." But then there's later parts where he goes against the Comintern. There's later parts of his life where he's doing that. Sardinia, are they giving each other military access? Dang it. Alright, but we're about to take Bordeaux. So it's like, it's, whatever works for Foster is what I'm basically saying. Sorry, I hope that made a little bit of sense. I was a little distracted by the collapsing French front. Okay. That's good. That's good. We're up over 250,000, which is nice. I think we're gonna come down here with some infrastructure as we prepare for a war with Mexico. Now, logistically, how are we doing? We're short on the heavy tanks, but everything else seems fine. So, I'm thinking let's start. Oh gosh, boy, those divisions, they just disappear so quick. Let's start preparing though to have some people here on this front line. They've got maybe 60 divisions. I'm sure mine would be better, and I'm going to try to get the Marines to do some work. But revolutionary education is finally done. We've got our 5th research slot. It's time for economic policy. William Z. Foster has managed to successfully push through his radical policies as outlined in his manifesto towards syndicalist America. Foster has immediately called for mass nationalization of all industries and natural resources, as well as a series of radical reforms and protections of some unions. And that's another thing with Foster, how he was a real flip-flopper. Sometimes he was for dual unionism, sometimes he was against it, because at some points in his life he would say, well, we need to merge with organizations like the AFL and the CIO, and we need to cut off the FFLP, the Federated Farmer Labor Party, because these guys, it's just by splitting, we're taking resources from each other. And then others were saying, well, no, we can't have one union have a monopoly on an organization or something. There's times he really started to get behind Stalin, because you got to remember a lot of this is happening in the early 1920s also. So Stalin and Trotsky are still feuding, and fall of Vienna. Ooh, very nice, very, very nice. Looking good. Hollywood. We gotta move Law. He should not be here. He should be somewhere else. Let's damn, I forgot about him. I've been wasteful. All right, let's do this. We're gonna have him work on the Austrians, or actually, on second thought, let's have him come over here to deal with the Belgians. Because this is getting out of hand, and now they've linked up with the French, the false French, the reactionary French. This is very, very bad news bears for everybody involved. Shoot, reactionary scum! All right. And where is my chromium? God, it's getting on my nerves. Oh, you know what's the problem? Yep, I'm putting way too much into that. No wonder all my chromium's disappearing. Okay, that's fine though. Alright, now we've reached the line. There's the problem. Okay. So we gotta try to. Jeez, they're trying to cut. They've cut Normandy off. Okay, no, we got it back. All right. Okay. Much better. Much better. This Europe is still very much a mess. Okay, but I think once we know, now the Kingdom of France has landed in the south. How many divisions do they have? 62? Wow, I'm amazed. Alright, so we got to, I think, work on some fighters. We're really, really short on those. Yeah, that'll do just fine. We're building still only 7.3 heavy tanks a day. That's disgusting and abysmal. Okay, but Brittany has almost been cleansed. Okay. And hopefully Belgium's getting overstretched a little bit. They're getting sort of low on manpower, but it's not so bad. And it looks like the Third International has actually been pushed back from Vienna over here. So this is really rough. And I still can't believe over here in Rostock they haven't closed this pocket. There's invasions happening everywhere. Am I going to have to send garrison forces over to Europe since France apparently can't take care of itself? No, I'm sure it'll be fine. So what we got to do is, let's see, we have the two Sicilies down here. Are they considered a major power, or am I going to be able to just capitulate? Okay, we only need to focus on the United States of Greater Austria. So once we're done here with Brittany, which is going to be in a minute, probably not in this episode. Well, you know what, let's finish up this peninsula in this episode. Then we're going to have Cannon over here, move over here to the, like the Czechoslovakian Austrian front, and help the push down into the United States of Greater Austria. It's really annoying that, you know, they went this path, because this means we're going to probably have to, you know, come down here to Sarajevo and push past Budapest in order to get the capitulation. Oh, man, France is probably spending a ton of factories on repairs, too. They're already on all adults serve, and they're out of manpower. Is that just because they lost these core areas? Like, they're getting them back. Okay, yeah, it's already, it just went up a lot, so it probably is not that bad. It's just that they lost a lot of their cores for a little bit there. They were being occupied. Now Arabia joins the fight. Oh, it gets better and better and better. Okay, Britannia, clear. Now, we need to, let's bring you all over here. And from, from Sarajevo to, up here, like Ungvar. We'll have a nice big front. We're going to advance down. All right. We're already working on the nukes. Let's get better artillery, better boom boom power. Okay, good. Flanders, Wallonia. I think I'll just make this a little bit longer. Oh yeah, getting to what I was saying about Stalin and the Trotsky movement. Yeah, so for example, you know, Foster was arguing with James P. Cannon, who was one of the possible syndicalist leaders that you can pick up. So he'd fight with him about certain things, but then he would later ally. He'd ally with them when they were fighting against the they're having that factional rivalry with the FFLP, the Labor Party I mentioned earlier. But then he helps expel James Cannon from the party later. Because Cannon is trying to form the American Trotskyite faction. So, you know, it's just opportunism. Complete opportunism. Reliability 56.0. We are going to need some maintenance companies in there, I think. You know what? The guns can wait. Let's max this out. And then do that. It's a little better. Okay. Great. So, you know, once again, just going to keep this going a little bit. Education Revolution, a notable professor out of Johns Hopkins University by the name of John Dewey has been appointed Secretary of Education. In Dewey's eyes, the purpose of education should not revolve around the acquisition of a predetermined set of skills, but rather the realization of one's full potential and the ability to use these skills for the greater good. The greater good. In particular, he emphasizes the schooling must include hands-on learning, famously stating, quote, "If knowledge comes from the impressions made upon us by natural objects, it is impossible to procure knowledge without the use of objects which impress the mind," unquote. Dewey's detractors, notably the Catholic workers' movement, claim his policies are antagonistic to religious education. Ultimately, William Z. Foster has decided to endorse Dewey's reforms toward a new generation. Nice, we just got some 50 political power there. Very, very good. Wow, we might actually be able to start getting some companies here or something. A little bit late, though, on the... Oh, geez, should I get General Motors? Or is it still doing that? Does the game still work in that dumb way where you gotta have, you gotta get the company before you research it? Companies in this game are so... God, I really hate them sometimes. Alright, there goes Belgium. So we'll go ahead and give that to France to deal with however they wish. I think the worst is over here in Europe. We had a little bit of a panic moment there, but we're just going to bring Law down, and we might put him, I think, on the Italian front, or... he's 64% of the way towards being a mountaineer, 77% done for being a hill fighter. I think what we'll do is we'll bring him over here to this northern section of the front, and have him come over here to Stanislaus, and he'll probably pick up the mountaineer trait and stuff over here. Now, I think we also can get this up to 24 almost, just about. Yep, we can get 24 whole divisions to bring over here. Start putting them on the border with Mexico. Oh, we're not mobilizing right now, though. It's fine. Equality for all is going to fix that. So thanks for joining me. It was a little bit longer episode than usual, but we did have some things to take care of. Oh, and since the war is basically over, Nicholas Iglaus just cut up Scotland, broke off Scotland and Wales. I didn't even notice when they did that. So I will see you all around. You have yourselves a wonderful day, and I hope it's a great day in Foster's America. Bye.